Is beat up, but it still works great. We just abuse the hell out of it. Well, you keep the packings clean and stuff. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, all the stuff I'm teaching you guys is very controversial. So I get a lot of comments, hey man, like those tails on your spray are going to show up. No, they don't show up, guys. It's all, well, when I spray an interior, am I spraying an interior? I'm spraying exterior, okay? I'm spraying exterior. I might leave a little more tail. On the inside, I might just turn it up just a hair more, but I'm going to leave some tail on the inside, and I still won't get any spray mark. Nothing. You won't see where I start, where I stop. Nothing. It looks perfect. If it didn't, in today's world, you would not get paid. So, I'm just going to try and explain some of these things to you guys. I got a comment. Guy says, hey man, if you use a double orifice tip, fine finish tip, it makes less overspray. Nope, it does not make less overspray. It makes more. Take one, put it on your gun, spray a little bit. You're going to have 30% more fallout with that spray tip than with a flat tip. It's all about managing your pressure. There's so many things that I can't teach everything in one video. You have to watch. Oh, you might have to watch the same damn video over and over 6 times, and then you'll finally see what I'm doing. There's so much going on when I'm doing something that I'm trying to tell you, and that's why I say the magic key to Success Self Painter is use your freaking brain. It's all about using your brain. It's all about figuring out what's going on. I don't just walk through a house and then spray the ceilings and go, oh wow, hey man, oh, I'll just leave that spray mark in there. No, I'm gonna readjust, I'm gonna change things, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make sure stuff goes away. And when you walk away, you're done. So I'm trying to explain this. I don't know how to really explain it, but I'm trying to explain it so that you guys can understand. There is no 100% do it all the time exactly the same way to paint. If you're doing it like that, then you're going to be the regular average guy who doesn't make very much money, who who's just doing the job. Okay, there's and then you're going to be covering up everything and then uncovering up everything, and then you're going to be going, hey man, oh there's something where I didn't cover right here, or so paint all over I got to clean it all up. You're going to deal with all that kind of crap, and so the stuff I'm telling you is very controversial. It's going to be stuff that people are going to go, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's saying. Obviously I know what I'm saying. Okay, the guy that I learned this stuff from made $4 million a year. You don't make $4 million a year in the 70s and 80s because you don't know what you're doing. Okay, he made that kind of money because with 20 guys, that's not very many guys for making that kind of money in the 70s and 80s. So today that would be like in the tens of millions. I mean, I don't know, but he even said before he died that you're probably never able to do that again. And then he saw the stuff I was doing. He goes, Mike, I think you're onto something, because I'm onto stuff I can't show you guys on video. There's just no way. I can't. The jobs I'm doing, nah, I can't do it. But some of the stuff I can, like the houses and stuff like that, I'll show you guys. But the commercial buildings with branding on them, names, companies, nope, not doing that. And everything I do is like super high risk. My insurance starts watching my videos. It might be a little challenging situation. So, but I don't have any issues. I've never had claims, none of that stuff, because I do everything by the circumstance and by the job, and looking at what's going on and managing what's going on. So like, for instance, let's say I spray a ceiling in a house, for an example, and I go and spray the ceiling, and I look at it and it's dry, go to lunch, come back, whatever, I come back and it's dry and I see a spray mark in it. I'm not going to leave it that way. I'm going to go, okay, what are we doing wrong? I'm going to look at my material. Is my material, what am I using? Okay, what how's my pressure on my gun? How's my distance away from the ceiling? And maybe I need to be further away, and maybe I need to have just a little bit more pressure. There's all of those things you're constantly monitoring and you're watching and you're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, because in order to make the big bucks as a painter, you have to walk the edge. You have to be right on the cutting edge of doing it, and being right there where, you just got to be right on the edge, where the stuff just works. Okay, not just, either that or you're going to be just covering every living thing and, doing it like everybody else does, and then you make the same money everybody else does. So that's what I'm trying to explain. It's so hard for me to explain it, but so what I'm gonna say is you might try some of the stuff that I do, and you might say, hey, this doesn't work, okay? But it does. I'm telling you, the stuff that I show works. I don't use an air assisted sprayer to get a good finish. I very rarely ever use fine finish tips. The only times I use them is when I'm doing cabinets and everything's controlled and it's inside. Then I use a fine finish tip, and it's everything's covered up, or I'm doing it doing the doors and stuff on a patio deck. Then I'll use a fine finish tip just because it's easier, so there's so many factors that are going on. Materials, for instance, when you're doing ceilings on the inside of the house, you got to use specific materials. Some materials have cheap acrylics in them, and the cheap acrylics show spray lines. You're going to see stop and start marks all over the place. So like if you're in California using Kelly Moore, doesn't work good. It has too much sheen mark from the cheap acrylics they put in their paint. Same thing, some of the Dunn Edwards materials the same. There's a way to fix it a little bit by increasing your pressure a little bit, and also increasing your distance and dusting a little bit. Then you're going to get a little more overspray from doing that. So there's all these things, compensating factors that come in to come into play when you're trying to walk the edge. So when you watch my videos, you guys are subscribers who watch all of them. Some of you guys are just watching one, and some of the guys come in and are watching one video, and then they make a big negative comment because they see one thing and then they miss out. That's okay. This isn't going to be for everybody. This channel is only for the people who want to be super good and be the best at what you do, and walk the edge and learn how to walk the edge and know where the edge is and know when to not step over it. And then in 20 years, probably when I'm dead, 30 years, whatever, you're going to make a whole lot of money, and you're going to go, wow, that guy knew something. I really appreciate the videos that he put up on YouTube. So, I don't have to do this. Am I making a ton of money doing YouTube? No. I mean, I'm just pathetic. But, I don't have anybody else to teach this stuff to, really. The guys who work for me, they already know, and they're kicking ass. I mean, all the guys who work for my buddy Frank, and all the guys who work for him are all super successful painters. All the 20 guys in that crew. I don't know all of them, but a lot of them, a couple of them are dead. But they're all of them were the best. They were the best painters I've ever seen in my life. These guys they knew everything. They just knew what to do. You come up to the job, you look at something, hey, why don't we just do this and this and this? Oh shit, that's a great idea. And and we fly with it, and we just kick ass. I mean, it's because we all had the same knowledge. We've all had the same knowledge about pressure control and about overspray, and about materials, and which material requires you to thin it You know, there's so many different things. There's no way I could put all this in one video. So I'm going to try to put them all together piece by piece, you know, and do the best I can. It's hard to explain some of the stuff, you know, without being, you know, and it's hard to actually make a video and explain it and have it convey through the video. So some of my videos are just stuff like this, where I'm just showing you a piece of equipment and I'm just talking, because doing it on the job site, sometimes you have so much going on while you're on the job site. Well, you know, when we're doing 4 guys, you know, there's a lot of management going on. I'm watching some guys, you know, I don't want to waste any labor. You know, everything's, when we're doing a house, it's, you know, there's not a lot of room in there for stuff, you know, for extra stuff. So sometimes I can't even make videos on those. But, you know, I'm just trying to explain this stuff so you guys can understand, you know, that, you know, doing a video and talking about the stuff and showing what you're doing and when you're cutting the edge is very hard to do. It's not easy. It's, you know, it's, but if you guys stay subscribed, stay watching videos, and keep watching stuff, and sometimes you're gonna, you know, ask questions. I'll try and give you guys answers and stuff. Anytime you're doing something. And some of them are going to be more basic, and some guys are going to be more complicated, where a guy's, you know, in Europe, and he's saying, hey man, you know, I sprayed in, you know, I spray interior. Well, first of all, I'm spraying exterior. Oh, you get stop marks in your work. No, I don't. No, I do not get stop marks in my work. Nowhere. You cannot see where I stopped or when I started, where I overspray or nothing. You can look at it at an angle, you can look at it straight on, you can look at it whatever you want. It's going to be acceptable 100% to the customer. Does it look perfect? Nothing does. Tell me a job that looks perfect. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as perfect when it comes to work. It's either acceptable or not acceptable. Spray mark in my ceiling, not acceptable. Big old spray marks in the ceiling. Okay? Not going to fly. It's not going to fly on my job. It's not going to fly on yours. Don't think I'm going to put up a video about that. Okay? You know, stop marks in my wall that I can walk up and see. No. Okay? In commercial buildings, there might be places where there is stop mark, and I'm going to leave it there. But there's the rest of the building's got misses all over the damn place. So my work still looks way better than the other guys. There's all those things are all factors you're going to look at, and things that there's some things you're going to leave on the job because you're going to go, you know what? Nobody's going to see that. And oh, I don't do that. I make everything perfect. Well, you're throwing away money. It's acceptable or not acceptable. One of the two. If it's not acceptable, then it's not acceptable. Better fix it. If it's acceptable, you know, then why the hell are you trying to make it perfect? There's no reason. Oh, well, I always make my work perfect. Nobody does. I'll go through there and I'll find shit wrong. Believe me. I'll walk through your job. I don't care who you are. I'll go through and I will find stuff. Anybody can find work with flaws in anybody's work. There's no perfect person out there. That's painting. So anyway, all right. So kind of gone a little long here, but hopefully that kind of helps you guys. Keep watching the videos. Keep learning. I'm not doing this for the money. I mean, believe me, the little bit I get for this isn't going to do crap for me. Okay. You know, that's all I can tell you. It's not going to do anything other than benefit you. So if you can stick it out and watch the videos and learn the stuff over and over, and you know, and there's nobody else on YouTube doing this. There's nobody that's done. There's very few people on the earth who know the stuff that I know. Okay, and I mean, people, oh well, that's a real bold statement. No, it's just freaking true. That's just straight up how it is. It is true. There's very few people out there who know the stuff that I know. Tell me another painter that you know, or that you've heard of, who had 20 guys and made $4 million a year in the 70s and 80s. Tell me one, and I will go watch their channel. All right, talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.